Now to education. A state of emergency has been declared in the education sector in BAYELSA State as part of efforts to restructure the sector. Governor HSDickson announced this in his acceptance speech after being sworn in as the fourth executive governor of BAYELSA State. Correspondent Paul Omukago has details.
Describing education as a vital tool of development and one of the cardinal points of his restoration agenda, the governor, adding to his electionary promises, declared free education at 2 levels. With a resolve to ensure zero tolerance for corruption, the governor emphasized the need for transparent leadership and accountability of public funds by all tiers of government. He said that Bayelsans deserve to know the revenue accruing to the states. In addition, infrastructural development, including completion of the 3 senatorial roads and eradication of violence and cultism from the state, are some of the areas the governor promised to give priority attention.
I am aware of the status of the finances. Money from the preliminary provisions I have received. But I know that we will work very hard to conquer our difficult terrain and to hit the Atlantic from 3 coasts. Again, from the west, Oklahoma from the central, and west from the east.
High points of the swearing-in ceremony was the oath of office administered by the Chief Judge of the state, Justice Kate Abiri, on the governor and his deputy, as well as inspection of a guard of honor. Meanwhile, the former acting governor of the state, Chief Nestor Binabo, has officially handed over to Governor Dickson at the executive chambers, where Honorable Dickson replaced Chief Binabo's photograph with his. Chief Binabo thanked Bayelsans for their support and for cooperating with him in the short period he presided over the affairs of the state, particularly for a successful, peaceful election. In Government House, Yenegua, Paul Omukago, NTA News.
And more reports now. As part of efforts to regenerate critical infrastructure and the creation of a robust economy, the Bayelsa State government says it is willing to participate with the private sector in its bid to open up the state to investors. Governor HSDickson gave the assurance while exchanging views with the Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the United Bank for Africa, UBA, Mr. Phillips Udoza, in Government House, Yenagoa. Government House correspondent Paul Omukago completes the story.
Aware of the fact that government alone could not meet the expectations of the people, Mr. Dickson said the state is partnering with security agencies and other stakeholders to create an investment-friendly climate. The governor admitted that it has become imperative to partner with reputable financial institutions and others who are best placed to assist in the provision of funds and advisory services needed not only for the development of infrastructure, but also in creating employment, wealth, and developing skills.
On this occasion, I would like to call on the investing public in Nigeria and beyond to know that the new Bayelsa has come and that Bayelsa is open for investments. We, in this new government, were likely to have a Bayelsa State development and investment summit in no distant time.
The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of UBA, Mr. Phillips Udoza, who led a 6-month team, said the visit is not only to felicitate with the governor and his deputy, but also to support and partner with the government in its renewed efforts to turn around the fortunes of the state.
We know that you have a very, very lofty ambition and a vision. We will support you, work with you. I do not think that you are going to lack financial resources to execute the programs that you have. That is not going to be a problem. I also do not think that you are going to lack advisors in terms of investors, in terms of key projects to be developed.
The Deputy Governor, Rear Admiral John Jonah, retired, Head of Service, Mrs. Gloria Izonfo, and some permanent secretaries in the state service were in the governor's team that received the visitors. In Government House, Yenegua, Paul Omukago, NTA News.
Which ignited on the gas production platform belonging to Chevron at Koluama in Bayelsa State is still raging several days after it started. Correspondent Miye Ogidi reports.
The fire outbreak, which started at the company's Funwas field, North Apoy in Southern Ijaw local government area of Bayelsa State, has been raging, and Chevron Texaco, owner of the facility, has not been able to put it off. Already, a number of communities in the area have been affected by the inferno. The traditional rulers from the affected Kolama clan said some members of the community, including expatriates employed by the community, could not be traced since the incident took place on the 16th of this month.
A couple of deaths have been reported, and the people have started moving out of the communities for the fear of the unknown.
The traditional rulers, however, appealed to the federal and the Bayelsa state government to prevail on Chevron Texaco to contain the fire before more damage is done. They appealed to the federal government to send relief materials to the people of Kolama clan as a palliative measure.
Chevron should not only immediately stop the raising flames, but clean up the environment. Chevron and the government should send relief materials and the medical teams to all communities impacted by the pollution.
The people alleged that no tangible development project has been embarked upon in the area by Chevron Texaco since it commenced operations in the area over 50 years ago. The traditional rulers reaffirmed willingness to work peacefully with any multinational that respect the host communities. At the time of filing in this report, the inferno is still on, and no visible measure has been taken by the company responsible. In Yenegua, Mie Ogidi, NTA News.
Fire, which occurred on the gas production platform belonging to Chevron at Kolama in Bayelsa State, is still raging several days after it started. Correspondent Mie Ogidi reports.
The fire outbreak, which started at the company's Funwas field, North Apoy in Southern Ijaw local government area of Bayelsa State, has been raging, and Chevron Texaco, owner of the facility, has not been able to put it off. Already, a number of communities in the area have been affected by the inferno. The traditional rulers from the affected Kolama clan said some members of the community, including expatriates employed by the community, could not be traced since the incident took place on the 16th of this month.
A couple of deaths have been reported, and the people have started moving out of the communities for the fear of the unknown.
The traditional rulers, however, appealed to the federal and the Bayelsa state government to prevail on Chevron Texaco to contain the fire before more damage is done. They appealed to the federal government to send relief materials to the people of Kolama clan as a palliative measure.
Chevron should not only immediately stop the raising flames, but clean up the environment. Chevron and the government should send relief materials and the medical teams to all communities impacted by the pollution.
The people alleged that no tangible development project has been embarked upon in the area by Chevron Texaco since it commenced operations in the area over 50 years ago. The traditional rulers reaffirmed willingness to work peacefully with any multinational that respect the host communities. At the time of filing in this report, the inferno is still on, and no visible measure has been taken by the company responsible. In Yenegua, Mie Ogidi, NTA News.
Bayelsa State Government is to partner with the National Information Technology Agency NIDA in the area of provision of ICT infrastructure for public schools in the state. This understanding was reached between Bayelsa State Government and management of NIDA at a meeting with Governor of the state, HSDickson. The report.
Governor Dickson explained that the hand of fellowship that will be extended by NIDA will assist the government in e-governance and ensure that students and pupils of Bayelsa State get basic computer education. With this development, a special school will be established in the state to train primary and secondary school teachers on ICT. This, he said, will be compulsory for teachers in the state. He requested the management of NIDA to assist the state-owned Niger Delta University procure laptops and iPads for students.
As far as promotion of IT knowledge is concerned, and so you have come to offer a welcome partnership. In this government, of course, as you have mentioned, we place high premium on education and human capacity development.
The Director General of National Information Development Agency, Professor Cleopas Angaye, who presented books on ICT to the governor, assured him of NIDA's full support in ICT-related areas.
I am certain and confident that information technology can assist the government in achieving many of its laudable and people-oriented programs.
The Bayelsa State government has also created a special Ministry of Science and Technology to ensure technological advancement of the state. In Abuja, Kirian Umayo, NTA News.
The Bayelsa State Elders Consultative Council has expressed full support to the federal government on the removal of fuel subsidy. This was part of decisions taken at an emergency meeting held in Yenagua. Correspondent Senam Bamiboye reports.
The gesture and give President Goodluck Jonathan a chance to do what is right. The Bayelsa State Elders Consultative Forum says it is giving full support to the federal government on its decision to remove the fuel subsidy because of the long-term benefits it would bring to the people. They note that the promise of accelerated development in all facets of the economy with the served income is sufficient impetus for Nigerians to support the deregulation policy. Chairman of the Traditional Rulers Council, King Joshua Igbagara, therefore calls on Nigerians to give President Goodluck Jonathan a chance to perform. He also urges elders in the north to work towards improving the security situation in Nigeria by helping control the activities of Boko Haram.
We have total confidence in what the president is saying, that the fuel subsidy removal will bring succor to Nigeria. Development in all the facets will accelerate.
Another elder, Chief Thompson Okorotie, joined in the call to all Nigerians to support the deregulation of the downstream sector of the oil industry, as it is essential for the development of the economy.
If you have found a president that is courageous enough to do what is needed so that the Nigerian economy does not collapse, I think Nigerians should follow him and give him the support that he needs.
The elders also prayed for the stability of the nation. From Yenagua, I am Senam Bamiboye, NTA News.
Some members of the Bayelsa State House of Assembly in an emergency sitting impeached the Speaker, Mr. Kombowe Benson. He was immediately replaced by Mr. Fini Angai as the new Speaker. Correspondent Mio Gidi reports.
Mr. Fini Angai was immediately elected as the new Speaker of the Bayelsa State House of Assembly. The members made allegations on which they based their decision to impeach the Speaker, Mr. Kombowe Friday Benson. They alleged moves to divide the members and high-handedness in handling House of Assembly matters.
And we are tired with the leadership of this House. We should also look for a person that will take the House as a whole.
Mr. Monday Obolo, representing Southern Ijaw Constituency 2, moved the motion for the impeachment. Mr. Obolo was elected as Speaker pro tempore. Mr. Nestor Benabo nominated Fini Angai as the Speaker of the House of Assembly and was seconded by Sekurubia. The Speaker, Mr. Fini Angai, in his post-election speech, pledged to carry everybody along in the scheme of things in the House.
Bayelsa State, a change for me to serve the members of this House of Assembly. I am now your servant. You have given me a responsibility that I, as a person alone, cannot carry. For us to move this Bayelsa State forward is for me to humble myself as the Honorable Speaker to be the servant of the members of this House.
The House was immediately adjourned to a later date. Mie Ogidi, NTA News.